Yeah! Woo! She's alive! In the last video, we went ahead and put Molly away for winter. That was the last drive on the stock motor because come a couple of months, we're gonna put the built motor in and start driving it. In that video, I did a little bit of shit talking because I wasn't invited to the Taylor Ray versus Tommy F. the Miata battle. Well, Tommy watched that video. He did a little bit of his own shit talking and invited me to come join. Sadly, the battle is taking place in 2 weeks in Florida. So it's just too soon and too far for me. It would have made a really great video, but I want to finish this drift truck. I want to start on the bus. I've got more important things to do than go race people. But come next season, I do really want to squeeze in some races against other YouTubers. It would be a blast. Be more collaborations, it's everything I want. So definitely next season it's gonna happen. But I'm pretty sure Tommy's selling his Miata soon, so I might never be able to beat that thing in a race, which stinks. Today we are talking about the rebuild on the bus. I've been saying I wanted to do this for a while, and now I'm gonna tell you the details, what we're gonna do, when it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna tell you about an exciting trip that we have planned late January. First things first, let's go get some argon so I can come back and practice welding later today. So we're gonna start off with the most important part of the bus. That is, of course, the interior. The actual stuff in the interior is pretty awesome. I love the bed, I love the bunk bed, I love the cabinets. The seats and the table are a little iffy, but everything else I really love. The flaw was the actual build process and the design of the interior. The problem with the build process was that I focused on one thing at a time instead of looking at the entire build at once. For example, I went ahead and I put the carpet in. Then I built the entire walls. And then I built the furniture piece by piece. This causes a waste of space and a waste of materials because now there's carpet running all the way to the back underneath the bed. We don't need the carpet underneath the bed. The vinyl walls go all the way down to the floor, all the way behind the bed. So there's vinyl walls being covered over by 2x4s. Same thing with here. If you look inside, there's Cheerios and sugar, but there's also vinyl walls. Underneath the cabinets, there's carpet. Underneath the chairs, there's carpet. That's a waste of carpet, and it's also kind of dangerous. I should have built the walls, then built all the furniture integrated into the walls, then finish the furniture, and then do the floors. The way I did it the first time, it wasn't the right order. So what are we gonna do? How are we gonna fix it? For starters, we are going to tear this bus right back down to the floor. We're gonna get rid of literally everything besides the insulated plywood floor that's underneath this carpet. That I did very well. Once everything is gone, we will build the new frames of the walls. The big difference here is that the walls are gonna be going all the way to the roof this time. I couldn't really quite figure out how to make the walls go all the way up the first time, but I figured it out and we're gonna do it. We are also going to actually put a roof over the bus roof. Making the walls go all the way up, making the roof, it's gonna make it look so much nicer and homier in here. When you're sitting like right where I'm sitting, it still looks like a school bus because you just have, you know, the entire top half is school bus. It's also going to allow us to put more insulation in the walls so it stays warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. Once the walls are up, we're gonna go ahead and run all the electrical stuff through the walls. We're gonna do the exterior lights. We're going to do all the interior lights. We're gonna do the batteries, the converters. We're gonna do all of the plugs. We're gonna do the new audio system. We're gonna do the TV. We're gonna do all the appliances like the fridge. We're gonna be doing the water system for the sink. We'll put all that in while the walls are still just framed up and there's nothing in. Once all that stuff is in, then we can start building the furniture. The furniture layout is going to be very similar as it is now. We're gonna have a bed here. There won't be a bunk bed. Instead of the bunk bed, there's gonna be more shelves on each side. We are going to have a half wall that separates the bedroom from the dining room, the living room, the kitchen. When we remake this table, the benches are going to be much smaller because this is way oversized. So we're wasting a lot of space there. We'll make those shorter, we'll make the table bigger. Cabinets are going to stay kind of like they are, except they'll be built into the walls, so there's not going to be a wall behind them. It's not going to be wasted space. We'll have a fridge in them, we'll have a sink in them. We're going to have cabinets on both sides. Once the walls are up, the wiring and the plumbing is run, and the furniture is in, then we can start putting the finishing touches on the walls. We can start putting the finishing touches on the floors. We're gonna have this same carpet in the bedroom area, but in the kitchen, we are going to have hardwood. The new bench and table setup will also fold down into the bed. I decided we didn't need 3 beds in here. 1, 2, 3, we only needed 2. And I wanted this bedroom area to be a little bit more open, so that's why we're getting rid of this. And then guests can sleep on the bed that will be here. Right. For this rebuild, I also want to fix and change some things for the exterior. The things I want to fix are the rust, and some of the other issues. The driver's side step to get into the bus is completely corroded, completely rusted out, so we want to pull that off and build a new one out of some tubing. We'll make it look really nice, get it powder coated so it lasts, and it'll be awesome. The rear fender flares, the rubber flaps, also have to go. It looks like the bus is tuck and tire, and I'm just not about it. So we'll take off those fender flares, it'll give us some wheel gap, make it look a little bit more aggressive, and it'll stop rubbing. We are going to be keeping the Plastidip for now. In the future, I definitely want to repaint it, but with everything else going on the inside, we just don't have the funds to redo the paint. I do want to do the front end conversion from a later model E-Series van. That too will probably have to wait until a later day. Another thing I do want to do, I want to build a roof rack that goes around the entire bus and a ladder going up to the roof rack. This will allow us to do a couple things. Number one, it will allow us to mount some solar panels up there to help feed the electrical system and be self-sufficient. Number two, it will make a cool viewing platform for when we're at the track. Imagine just being able to climb up onto the bus, which is like, 12 feet high almost, and getting this beautiful view of the track. It's gonna be awesome for both footage and just for hanging out. We'll also be able to store stuff up there if we want to, but not so sure. Speaking of storage, I do want to add some underbody storage. Obviously, it's got these huge frame rails running down the entire length of the bus. On the passenger side, there are batteries mounted. Towards the rear axle, there's a huge fuel tank. But on the driver's side, there's nothing. I want to build a couple of aluminum storage boxes that will mount to the frame that will be accessible through a hole in the body of the bus. Think about a tour bus and all the storage that they have underneath where everybody sits. That's essentially what we want to do. We'll be able to store all the dirty stuff down there, firewood for camping, all the tools to fix cars, anything that we need for the trailer, like the lock, the tow straps, and all that. That will all go underneath the bus in those storage areas so we don't get dirt all over the interior of the bus. Things we aren't gonna do now or anytime soon, we're not gonna lift it. We're not gonna get new wheels or tires. One of the other things I really want to do on the exterior is add some lighting. When we're loading up a car at night, reversing into a parking spot at night, hanging out by the bus that night on the track, we can't really see anything. So I wanna add some floodlights on the top of the outside of the bus that have switches on the inside of the bus that we can use for doing those things, loading up the trailer, strapping down a car, hanging out, and that kind of stuff. To me, that is currently one of the major flaws of the bus. I can't see anything when I'm backing up. Now, what about engine and performance mods? Are we gonna be doing any of those? Yes. The one thing I really want to do with this bus during the rebuild is try to make it more economical. It's great, it's reliable, pretty powerful, but it is not economical at all. It sucks. It gets like 8 miles per gallon. It destroys diesel. That's one of the main things holding me back from taking more trips, doing more collaborations this coming season. It's just so expensive to go anywhere in the bus. It saves us money on hotels, but the gas is so expensive. So in order to get better fuel economy, I want to tune the engine. I don't want to tune the engine to make more power, I just want to make it more economical. Now the problem is that the bus is an E450. Because it's an E450, it has a different ECU than E350s, 250s, and 150s. Because of that, they don't make any off-the-shelf tuners, so we can't just buy an HP tuner or something like that and tune the engine. We're either gonna have to swap the ECU for a different ECU, I don't know if that's possible, or we're going to have to get it actually tuned. We'll take it to a shop and they'll street tune it or something. That would be a funny sight to see. That should help with economy. We can probably up the power a little bit. We have to be careful though. It is a 6.0. It's known to blow up if you increase the power. Speaking of 6.0 stuff, I do want to do some preventative mods from preventing it to blow up, mainly an EGR delete. That should also help with fuel economy a little bit, but I don't know if I will do that during this rebuild. We need to replace some of the consumables to help with fuel economy, mostly the fuel filter. That thing's pretty old and that thing can't be helping for fuel economy. I want to change the exhaust. I love the side exit, it sounds great, but it's a little bit too loud. So it's still gonna be a straight pipe, we're just gonna duct it to the rear of the bus instead of the side of the bus. Hopefully with that, we won't be able to hear it while we're driving on the highway and it'll be a little bit more pleasant. I'll do some simple engine mods that should help economy and performance and intake. I think that's pretty much it. The bus already has a really good radiator, already has a really good intercooler, has good oil coolers, trans coolers, has all of that. But it has an old restrictive air box, so a nice big cone filter on that thing. Number one, you'd hear some crazy turbo noises. Number two, more power, more economy. If we can get like 12 miles per gallon from the bus, that would be so much better. Still terrible, but that's almost a 50% increase in fuel economy. So that would be awesome. Now the catch is the schedule. I want to have this rebuild completely done by the end of January. That is when we are going to be taking a trip down to Texas to hopefully visit Evan Shanks and rip the drift truck down there. So if we started the rebuild today, we'd have 2 full months to do it. But we're not gonna start it today. I wanna start the rebuild as soon as the truck is running and a little bit more sorted out. So I'm assuming it's gonna start at the beginning of January. That means we're going to have 1 month to complete the bus. We'll focus on the interior because that's the most important. That's the thing that we need to go on this trip. We need the heat, we need the electrical system, and we need the nicer interior. We don't really need the exterior mods. We do need the engine performance mods though. I ain't driving down there with 8 miles per gallon. Hell no. So that is what you can expect with the bus rebuild. It sucks because January is always a really bad month for YouTubers, so I'm gonna be doing like one of the most exciting things on the worst months where it's probably not gonna get very many views, but we're still gonna do it. As soon as we finish the bus and get back from the trip, we are going to start on the engine swap for Molly. So that's what you guys can expect. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Yet again, I apologize, it's not a build video. We're still waiting for the truck to be finished. Sadly, I forgot that PRI is this week, so Mike and all his workers are at PRI visiting that instead of working on the truck, which is totally fine. Like, it's really important for them to go to that show, but it just, you know, makes a delay on the drift truck. We'll be ripping it soon, and then we'll be fixing it soon because there are a couple things I want to fix. Hopefully you guys are excited for this. I personally am. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, give it a dislike. I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, peace out, goodbye, and that's it.